It's that time of year again. It's gift giving season. And if you've got a techie in your family that's difficult to buy for, I've got the solution for you. Stay tuned to the end. I've got 10 categories of gifts that might just strike the perfect balance for your techie. If there's one thing that most techies like, that is having more power on the go. Whether you need to keep a cell phone or a laptop charged, you could do worse than to get your techie an extra power bank. UGreen is a brand that has been around for a while. There are many other brands on the market. However, UGreen has been on the market for quite a while, and they stand by their products. They are a little more expensive than some of the lesser known name brands, but you can find a power bank in almost any capacity from UGreen that your techie would probably love to have to throw in their bag. Storage is another area where techies, and even these days non-techies, are always looking for more. Having storage at home is one step in having your stuff backed up. If you have a cell phone that you use on a regular basis, you may want to back up something locally and not necessarily rely on iCloud or Google Drive, etc. UGreen makes a line of network attached storage devices, and you can see they start under $200 and you can get them going up into much larger price tags. Another brand out there that makes quality storage products is Synology. Now, this top item, the Synology B drive, this is great for less techie folks that may not have a computer at home. This will let you hook up to your cell phone and back up photos and other things. And it's reasonably priced for what you're getting. Most cell phones don't have a terabyte of storage in them, so you're going to be able to back up for a good long time to this Synology device. And again, you're not reliant on iCloud or other services that you don't have control over. The final item in this category that I want to show is for somebody that might be a little bit more of a do-it-yourselfer when it comes to tech. The B-Link Me Mini PC is geared as a network attached storage device. Now, you're generally going to want to wire this to your network router or a switch, but this will give you the flexibility to have storage available to any device on your home network. It is a little more expensive. It is a little more bare bones for what you're getting. However, it does give you more flexibility than some of the other options we've looked at. When it comes to cabling, a tech person can never have too many network cables. One type of cable that is gaining in popularity are these thin cables. Now, these are 1 foot in length, but you can get longer ones if you look for them. So these are by the Monoprice brand. Now, of course, you can purchase them direct from Monoprice. However, there may be a delay on shipping. So if you need it faster, then, you may look at other avenues like the one displayed on your screen. These are rated at Cat 6A, which is the highest standard that is most realistic for personal or home use. Again, you can get these in various lengths. There are other brands that make similar cables. Monoprice is just one of them. Here's another one. This is Everest Ultra Slim Cat 6A cable. These are 1.5 feet, and you get 24 of them. Again, something to keep in mind, these thinner cables are nice for throwing in a go bag if you've got a tech person in your family that has to go on site to do tech work, they may like having these thinner cables in their bag. And if they have some extras, then, if they end up leaving one on site, it's not the end of the world. Let's talk about adapters for a minute. If you've been around technology for a while, you've got devices that take different types of USB, and you may not have the right kind of USB cable available when you need it. Having an adapter set like this one, the main cable, and it is short, but in a pinch, it'll work. The main cable is USB-C on both ends, and then it has adapters to go to micro USB, USB-A, and to Lightning for your older iOS devices. The price is right, whether or not you're techie, for under $8. Can you really go wrong with this one? Another cable or adapter that is increasingly handy to have around is USB Type-C to HDMI. More and more, you're seeing laptops that only come with USB-C. Having this type of cable around is increasingly handy and can save your behind in a pinch. Now, you can get a full-length cable that is USB-C on one end and HDMI on the other. Or, if you already have extra HDMI cables around, you can get a USB Type-C to an HDMI female adapter, and then you just use your regular HDMI cable. Where can this come in handy? If you've got a newer laptop with only USB Type-C, this is a great choice. If you want to hook your cell phone up to a TV or monitor or a capture device on your computer, this can be a handy adapter to have around. The price is certainly reasonable, and you never know when you might need something like this. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. You may not feel like you are going to make a good decision when it comes to buying a tech-related gift for the techie in your family, and that's where gift cards can come in handy. If you get them an Amazon gift card or maybe just a more generic Visa or MasterCard gift card, then your techie can purchase whatever they would like, and you don't have to worry about having to go through a return process, either you or them, or have other types of issues that may arise in the process. This is supposed to be a fun time of the year, and you don't need to stress about a gift, right? So, yes, it's not the most unique gift you can give, but everybody loves gift cards. Here's another gift idea that comes in on the less expensive end of things. Cable organizers. So you can get reusable Velcro cable ties. You can get silicone cable ties. These come in all different shapes and sizes. They have items that mount to your desk to help you organize things. And you can never have too many cable organizers. Some of these are pretty neat. I wish they would have existed, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, or more when I was getting my start in tech. And organizing was much more difficult than it is today. Here's one for the techie and non-techie alike. More and more people are using touchscreens and tablets. It can be very handy to have a stylus, especially if you are using a tablet for any sort of artistic work. And there are many of these available at many different price points with different features. Some of them will have a coarse and a fine tip. Some of them will have a stylus on one end and the other end will be an ink pen. You've got many options out there. Again, this is a rather inexpensive gift, that could end up being a real hit, whether it's for a tech person or not. Moving on, we've got mice and trackballs. Now, you'll want to know your techie if you're going to go down this route, unless you're buying a gift for yourself. Then you know what you want to get. But having an extra trackball or a mouse around can be very handy if you have guests. If your main mouse or trackball dies, then you've got a backup ready to go. As with most things these days, these are available wired or wireless, and they are available at a number of price points. So consider these various options before you buy. Some people don't like trackballs. Some people would rather have a mouse. Now, again, not all mice are created equal. Some are more sensitive. They can be better for gaming. Some are actually sold as a gaming mouse. And of course, if you sell with gaming in the description, you're going to pay a higher price for it. But there are still mice or mouses available at various price points, from the inexpensive to the rather pricey, with various features. And again, whether you're picking up an inexpensive model to have as an extra, or you're buying something specific for the tech person or gamer in your family, depending on what features you want to get, this isn't a bad option to choose. Keep in mind also that you can get a travel mouse. And if you want to do things on the go with a laptop, a travel mouse can also be a handy gift to give. Here's another option that is a great idea for anybody that owns a relatively modern cell phone or a laptop or desktop computer. And that is a flash drive with both USB Type A, so the fatter rectangular connector, or USB Type C, the sort of oval-shaped connector that you don't have to worry about which side you insert. These have come way down in price. Some things that you'll want to look for. You'll want to look for USB 3.2 to get the extra speed out of the option. USB 3.1 is acceptable. If you see USB 2, stay away from it unless you've got a specific need to go that route. I would also suggest sticking to brands that have been around a while. Lexar, SanDisk, even Amazon Basics is going to be a relatively safe choice. If you don't recognize the brand, some of these I don't. I normally just stay away from them, and you know, it's just one of those comfort things, right? These can be very handy if you are transferring data off a cell phone, if you want to bring it to the library to print files, if you want to be able to go, anywhere and be able to do things and not worry about the type of USB connector that's available on a public computer, for instance. This will come in very handy. And they're small enough that they can fit in your pocket or your purse, and you don't have to worry about it. The last category on the list this year in 2025 of gifts for your techie would be keyboards. Now, keyboards, like your mouse, is something that could be a very personal choice. Unless you know your tech person very well, you may not want to buy something like this for them. However, if you do know your tech person, or if you are looking at a nice gift for yourself, no judgment here, then you could go worse than to pick up a mechanical keyboard. The keyboards that you normally get with a computer are hot garbage. They are cheaply made, they use cheap parts, and they can be mass produced and included with computers at a very low price, right? So when you get into keyboards with mechanical switches, so underneath the keys, you've got what's called a switch. A mechanical switch is going to give you a more tactile feel generally. Sometimes they'll be clicky keyboards, sometimes they will be silent. Again, there are many variations. Also, worth considering, is your tech person using a Windows computer or a Mac or a Linux machine? There are key caps that will go with each system. So something worth considering. You can get very inexpensive mechanical keyboards. Under $25. Honestly, I would stay away from these unless you're just buying an extra to have around. In a pinch, these can be great. Would I want to use one for my everyday use? Probably not. If you go into the $25 to $50 range, you have a few more options. Now, some of the brands that have been around for a good long time: Logitech, Razer, Keychron, Red Dragon, SteelSeries, I've heard of all those, Cooler Master, Cherry, of course, and some of these other ones may be more or less known to you, but the ones I rattled off have been around for a good while. Keyboards come in all different varieties. This one right here has typewriter style keys on it, and it looks like it's got LED lighting. Again, you can get keyboards with the number pad on the right side or without it. It all depends on what you want and what you might be using it for. I have found that the Keychron keyboards strike a nice balance between feel and price. They are available with both Mac and Windows key layouts. Again, this one right here, the C2, is normally $56.99 and it's on sale. I am not logged into Amazon currently, so your prices may vary. And if you want to go really exotic, you could change the price range on this on Amazon and sort from high to low. And yes, you can get a keyboard that is nearly $1,000. I'll just let that sink in for a moment. Here's one additional tip. There is a company based out of the US. If you want to buy a US designed and built keyboard, System 76 not only builds computers, but they also build their own keyboards. And these are built like tanks. I do not personally own one, but it's on my wish list. So these are fully designed and built in Colorado. And if you want to support an American company with American products, you could do worse, right? So they are a little on the higher end of pricing. However, that's all dependent on what you want to spend. There are many options out there to choose from. And that will conclude our buyer's guide for 2025. If you'd like personalized help, please feel free to stop into the library and make an appointment, or you can make an appointment on our website and spend some time with me to go over some specific options if you're looking for something a little different. Until next time, this is Jeremy from the Eaton Rapids Area District Library signing off. Have a great day and happy holidays.